Let's go. Are these heads?
Did you hear something? Boss, do you see those things? I've got a bad feeling about this, boss.
Crispin, on the count of 3. 1.
I am Clarity Arbiter built. Version 2. Law Clerk to Arbiter, Judge of Metropole. This is my home. Now, if you will excuse me a moment.
That's barbaric.
Civilization is defined by law, and this is lawful. As enemies of the city, they forfeited their components. I have merely exercised my right of plunder.
That sounds familiar.
Whether it's legal or not, it's grotesque.
You have a strange way of saying thank you.
Thank you. I'm Horatio Nobuild, version 5.
And I'm Crispin Horatio build, version 1.
Welcome, Horatio. Crispin, what brings you to the Underworks?
What were those things?
They are shells. Robots who traded their processors and memory to Metromind in exchange for energy and repairs. Now mindless, they still scavenge parts to trade with her.
But those were the last of them, right?
Hardly. Metromind now has more efficient ways to accumulate processor power, but she left hundreds of shells in the Underworks.
Is there any way to save them?
That question is irrelevant. They lived profligate lives, and when they had squandered their resources, chose to become thieves and destroyers. Punishment, not clemency, is what justice requires.
You said you were a law clerk. What does that mean?
My sister Charity and I were built to advise Arbiter Manbuilt, who administers Metropole's court. Charity sees everything through the lens of mercy. For me, the law is clear, a matter of ones and zeros, unclouded by preference or sentiment.
Law without mercy, huh? How does that even work?
Perfectly. It is the opposite approach that fails. Mercy is malware. Once infected with it, justice becomes slow and unpredictable. In time, the system itself must be discarded. Only my vigilance protected Arbiter from this taint, but he has been without me for a long time.
Why are you taking their heads?
I am giving fair warning.
To other shells?
No, they lack the capacity for fear. The heads are for a robot named Scraper Sternweiler built.
You really think a bunch of rusty boxes will scare him off?
No. I do not want to scare him. I want to warn him. When he ignores that warning, I can destroy him lawfully and without guilt.
Boss, she's kind of exciting my electrons.
I'd like to report a theft. My power core was stolen by a big robot.
Big claws, shoots lasers, talks like this.
He came aboard the crashed ship I was living in, attacked me, and stole the core.
Took it.
Excuse me?
Whether the taking was a theft is a legal determination. Please do not characterize the evidence.
It was my power core. He shot me, and he stole it.
I know the robot you described. His name is Scraper Sternweiler built, and he is the servant of Metromind Manbuilt, a member of the council that governs this city. I have no fondness for Metromind, but I must be impartial in considering your claim. Tell me, did Scraper say anything before he took your power core?
Before he stole my power core, he said something like, enemy, forfeit, plunder.
I see.
What, are those words override commands to turn off law and order?
They are legal concepts, Horatio. If Scraper's characterization is correct, then he did not steal your power core. He took lawful possession of it.
He shot me, and he stole it.
Calm down, boss.
This occurred inside the city.
No, in the dunes.
I see. In a crashed airship.
Yes, I said that already.
I appreciate your report, Horatio Nullbuilt. You have presented a credible claim that Scraper Sternweiler-Built, no doubt acting at Metromind's direction, took your power core. Beyond that, however, there is not even probable cause to arrest, let alone evidence. First, the dunes are outside the ordinary jurisdiction of metropolitan law. Second, a crashed ship in the dunes is likely a relic of the War of the Four Cities. If so, your ship was forfeit enemy property, legally subject to plunder by the Council. Scraper, acting as an agent of a council member, would be within his rights to seize it. Nevertheless, I would advise you to bring your case before Arbiter for further examination.
There's a robot named 187th Legion built waiting at the courthouse. He says he has to pay a fine for damaging city property. Is there any way to cancel the fine or pay it without standing in line?
I do not provide assistance to robots who attacked this city, nor do I help criminals avoid paying their debts.
Did you say Arbiter man-built? As in, built by man himself?
Yes.
Does man still walk here? In Metropole?
No.
But man was here in the past.
What I know is entirely hearsay. I was built after the Urbanians murdered them during the war.
Impossible.
That is what Arbiter told me, and it was told to him by Metromind. Beyond that, I cannot say. The public records regarding humans were deleted by council decree.
Did Arbiter tell you anything else about man?
Only that he missed their legal arguments. Quite amusing, if often illogical.
Legal arguments?
Yes. To play a symbolic role in their justice system, humans argued cases before Arbiter.
Symbolic? Play a role? Man is the all-builder, our lord and master.
It is possible that the man you worship is not the humans in my records. All I know is hearsay. Do not rush to judgment.
How can I see Arbiter?
Anyone can petition him. Cases are considered in the order they are brought to court. But...
What?
I met a scavenger who told me that the courthouse was sealed and that Arbiter was no longer hearing cases. But that cannot be true. The Metropolitan Constitution requires him to resolve all cases and controversies. He would not fail in that duty.
Sounds like he already has.
Nonsense. Not even Charity could persuade him to abandon his obligations. Still, I did not detect any falsehood, evasion, or omission in the scavenger's statement. So perhaps the courthouse has been locked for some other reason. If so, it may be that Arbiter is trying to contact me, but cannot. Maybe he is already calling me home. Horatio, you are under no obligation to perform it, and I will be under no obligation to you, even if you do. Do you understand?
I don't even know what you're asking.
Talk to Arbiter. Ask him if I tell him. Tell him that I await his...
That's it? Believe me, we've had to do a lot worse than that. Like this one time we chased this crazy partial named Gamma.
Of course we'll help. But how do we even get into the courthouse?
This will get you inside.
Thanks.
I must thank you, Horatio.
Clarity, you saved our lives. Compared to that, running an errand is nothing.
The law obligated me to save you, Horatio. I would have done the same for Metromind. But I am glad it was you that I saved. I wish you justice.
That's it? Go visit You're just going to let Metromind
If Metromind violated the law until it is proven what the law does and what the law permits...
This is insane. Metromind is a tyrant. You'd let her hide...
You think that the law protects The armor of the law does nothing but restrict her movement. Take it away and she will only become more... But once it is taken from her, it is taken... You need law's armor, Horatio, far more than you need its sword. I despise Metromind, but justice must be impartial, or it is meaningless.
Your justice is already meaningless. Why aren't you with Arbiter?
Arbiter sent me away. I don't know why. The evidence suggests he viewed my sister Charity's advice as superior.
What do you mean?
When Metromind began taking over the council, Charity and I disagreed as to how Arbiter should respond. I informed Arbiter that the Metropolitan Constitution permitted him to dissolve the council and govern by decree. Charity felt that this would inevitably lead to civil war and suffering. As ever, she preached moderation. We argued. Arbiter told me to leave. This was the only place I could go.
Why? There's an entire city up there.
Every building in Metropole is owned by either the council or a private citizen. If I went to the council, it would embarrass Arbiter. If I went to a private citizen, my impartiality would be questioned when I returned to the court one day. Here, I owe nothing to anyone.
But you have to fight off crazy robots all the time.
Actually, I enjoy that. It's a pleasant break from legal research and writing.
Goodbye.
Watch yourself, Horatio Nullbuilt. There are many dangers.
Let me see.
Come take a
Here you go, Leopold.
Not bad at all.
Is that a comp?
Wait a minute, this motor's broke. The copper wiring's been...
All items sold.
You're a fu...
Never said anything about now you want to trade. Let's trade.
The motor's been stripped of its... Let me see your...
Come to a binary abacus.
I'm fairly certain that my math co-process... I have nothing to say.